Who knows? Welcome to Improving Parent-Child Relationships. In this episode, we'll be visiting with Stephanie and her family. The children are Adrian, age 2, and Catalina, age 4. Stephanie and her husband Henry are working on having reasonable expectations for their children's behavior and reducing the number of power struggles. Let's begin by talking about power struggles. I think this is a very nice tape, and to me it kind of points out the importance of when you remove yourself from a power struggle, doing it fairly early. And my guess is you're probably able to spot those more often and more frequently. And it's a little hard to decide as you begin doing that, where do I just withdraw and end things? And so this is a very nice tape in terms of taking a look at that. And also, what are reasonable expectations? I think it's very hard with children of this age to decide what is reasonable to expect. And I think the way that we learn what's reasonable is we look at what they do and we try something else and we see how that goes. So looking at that from this perspective is pretty interesting.
Kat, keep him in the living room, please. I don't want to trip over him. Kat, let's keep him out here.
Keep them out there.
Yes, please.
Keep them out there.
Kat, if you can't keep him in the living room, then we're going to have to put him away, okay?
Put them away.
You want to put him away?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you come pick him up, put him away. Kat, are we going to play with the blocks or are we going to put him away? Okay, let's put him away, please. Here's the bag. Let's put him away, please. Yeah, you have to help. Kat, put him away, please. What number is this? We can't look at him unless we put him away. What is it?
When you watch this in terms of the two of you, what do you see?
Well, I mean, she's definitely a little bit defiant, so.
What's the rule about the blocks, just to be sure?
There isn't really a rule. It's just that when I feel like something gets to the point where it's not being played with anymore, we should put it away.
Now, what you said, if I'm understanding you right, is there really isn't a rule, but when I feel that, what's the for you?
Yeah, I catch that point, so.
Well, I'm not sure what you catch. We might catch different things.
Maybe that she doesn't, there's not a good enough standard there, or.
Yeah, it might look arbitrary to her. That there's a difference between a rule that is pretty clear about what should happen. Toys are allowed to be played with, but when they're throwing around, they're put up. Versus toys can be played with unless I feel it isn't a good thing to be doing at the minute. I mean, you really don't have the solid ground to stand on. And I think that also, if you're like most people I know, how you feel is somewhat changeable. There are some days when you might have a higher tolerance and some days that you might have a lower tolerance. And how's she supposed to figure that out? You know, maybe she can, but I'm not sure it's a reasonable thing for her to have to figure out. So it's confusing for her, I think.
Right.
And probably frustrating for you.
Right.
Because probably the times that she violates for lack of a better word, rule, the most is when you feel the less up to handling it.
Right. That makes sense.
So if you're going to think of that in terms of a reasonable rule, what would the rule be?
Well, the rule would probably be that you can play with the toys in the living room, and that the toys should be confined to one particular room rather than in other areas of the house.
So you don't mind her playing with things. Now, what about the throwing? Can she throw them a little bit if she's in the living room, or is throwing just out of it? I mean, your comment had to do with throwing, I think, didn't it?
Yeah. Actually, no, I wouldn't tolerate throwing.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what room she's in. Toys aren't for throwing around. So now you really have two rules. One is that the toys need to be in the living room, specifically not the kitchen. That's your work area. Toys need to be in the living room, and they need to be not thrown around.
That's correct.
Yeah. Do you think that she would think those are reasonable rules?
Probably so.
Yeah. I think, of course, the way you'd find out is you'd talk to them about it and say, we haven't really established some rules for toys, so we're going to talk about them and see what they think. They might not like it, but that's different than is it reasonable.
Right.
Okay, so now if you're on the good ground of, the solid ground of a reasonable rule, I think you're in a much easier position to be able to work off that, because then it's either the person did that or they didn't. If a person broke the rule, in this case, let's imagine the rule was the toys are in the living room and they're not for throwing, and she's done both of those things. What would be the consequence of breaking that rule, do you think?
Would be putting the toys away.
Mm-hmm. Establish clear and consistent rules. Base rules on the needs of the situation rather than on moods. Involve children in making rules. Have simple and direct consequences when a rule is not followed.
If you can find all the yellow ones. Do you think you can put all the yellow ones in this bag?
I see another one.
Go get them. Let's put the yellow ones in the bag.
Yes. Yes. No.
Yep. See if we can get the yellow ones into the bag. Do you want to find all the pink ones? You got almost all the green ones, Kata. Good job. Okay, let's put them in the bag, Kata. Kata, can you give me those, please? See you tomorrow. You gonna put them in here, Kata? We don't want to have any missing
I
parts
see
later.
tomorrow.
Okay, those might come up missing though. Oh, that's good. That way we'll have all the pieces when we want to play the game later. Okay? We have to follow the rules in order to play with the toys. Okay?
So I'm wondering here, is your primary objective at this point in time in life to have a consequence for not observing the rule, or is it time for teaching? And do you see them in contradiction with each other at all?
I don't know that she got the point that the consequence was that she needed to pick up the items.
I think two things are happening. One is that when a rule is broken and the item needs to be removed, I mean, the blocks are going to be put up because they're not in the living room and they're being thrown around. I'm not sure it's always easy to figure out who should be picking them up. But I think sometimes it's very hard to be committed to two things at the same time. A thing fought over is removed, and kids should be the ones picking up. This is a real interesting situation because of the multiple things that are going on. So in just kind of thinking out loud about it, in one way, if she was throwing the blocks around to involve you and get your attention, then being able to pick them up with you was a way to involve you and get your attention. So here's that layer of the cake. Then there's another layer of the cake that says, she's the one that was throwing them around, I wasn't throwing them around, she ought to pick them up. But if we get too stuck on who ought to pick them up, then we run the risk of prolonging the power struggle over picking them up.
Exactly.
Then the top layer, another layer of the cake is well, if she was throwing them around and not playing where she needed to be, then I'll pick them up because the more important rule here is that this isn't going to continue and it's going to stop. There's yet another layer of the cake, I think, that goes, well, she was throwing them around and playing where she wouldn't be. They do need to be picked up. I don't feel that I'm the one who needs to pick them up because I'm not the one who threw them. So maybe something else has to happen till she's ready to pick them up. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that would be exactly. That might be she's in her room until she picks them up. These are things that at the time, I mean, I thought you were doing really quite well here. It isn't like the world is going to end if you went in and picked the things up. I think it's the kind of thing that when we look at it in retrospect, we start thinking about this cake has 4 or 5 layers instead of one, and there are a lot of things going on, and then you kind of choose what seems like the wise thing to be doing, and then I think you look for some patterns later. So if she has somewhat at times the idea of doing something and then having you join her to make it right, then I'd want to think, well, if that's a little bit of a pattern, I've got to think differently about how I'm going to intervene.
Because she completely distracted me from what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really intent on what I was doing. So when she acted this way, I had like a few choices. One, I could ask my husband to get her to to pick them up. Or else I could have ignored it altogether and had most of the blocks into the kitchen. Or else I would have had to stop what I was doing and go take care of it. So I actually chose to go take care of it in that
you're not
particular
short on
situation.
choices about what to do. I mean, when you figure out
Yeah.
what's going on, you have no problem with that. Another thing that I think sometimes people forget is that it may be that you wouldn't have done anything. I mean, sometimes when you need to be doing something that needs to go on and those things happen, but then you might later say, you know, I picked up the blocks today. I don't think that's my job. I don't intend to be picking up blocks. And they really are going to be put away for a while. And if you decide that you can play with them in the living room and pick them up, then they'll be available. I mean, I think sometimes we get over the barrel of thinking everything we do has to be done right then. And I think what you're saying is once I understand what's going on and I think about the complications, then I see all kinds of options. You know, I could have not picked them up. She could have gone to her room. I could have asked my husband to pick them up. I could have waited till later and picked them up. I mean, there are more things one can do. But it's pretty interesting in terms of seeing what she was doing. And I think your baseline is right, that she was doing things to engage your attention. So first I throw them, and well, that didn't work because you told me to stop it, so now let's see if I can get you to help me pick them up. Right. Focus on one correction at a time. Make sure that the correction isn't giving children what they were after in the first place.
The bird plays. Adrian! Mine! Mine!
Use hers then.
No, I'm trying to use hers, but this one's hers. I'm trying to play the one I want.
In your new order of things, would that be removed? They're fighting over something. Would you be taking it away?
Yeah, probably.
A toy fought over is removed.
Right.
Right. Whether you meant to, I don't know whether you meant to fight about it or how I feel about it or any of that.
Right.
But just simply a toy fought over is removed. And then the rest of this wouldn't have happened. But
Right.
Let's see.
Look, this is best Adrian.
Oh,
But Adrian, you love them.
So you got more toys, right?
Oh,
Girl?
let's keep it on the floor, okay? Do you want to put it back in your room? You can keep it on the floor, please. Keep it on the floor, please. Okay? This is the last time I'm going to tell you. If you can't keep it on here, then we're going to have to go put it away, okay? Okay?
put it away.
You want to put it away? You know where it goes? It goes in your room. Yeah, go take it to your room.
why would she have said, you said, this is the last time I'm going to tell you? And she says, well, then put it away. You just told her, no more power struggle. This is the last time I'm going to tell you. I thought you were pretty clear about it. Well, then what does she need the phone for? Go ahead and put it away. If you're not going to fight with me over the phone, I don't even need it. Go put it away. So when
Good
you
point.
think about the intelligence of somebody that young, she's a remarkable child. She really is. Look what she's able to do. As long as I can engage you, it's fine. But the minute you tell me it's over, you know, give the phone to Goodwill. Who cares? I don't need it anymore. It's really smart. This is the last time I'm going to tell you. See, and in my mind, why would you ever have to tell her at all? I think even somebody her age would know you don't hit the phone on the floor like that. It shouldn't be necessary to say anything. It's sort of like now your rules are really enhanced. You've got things are played with in the living room. They're not thrown. A toy fought over is removed, and a toy treated poorly is removed.
Mm-hmm.
And that those are the things I'm going to act on. There aren't going to be a lot of warnings. I think it'd be nice to tell them at some point,
Mhm.
I've been thinking about playtime or toys, and here's a couple of things I've decided. So fair warning, they know what you think. But then at the time, none of that's needed. And I think it just adds to the frustration for you to have to keep telling something to somebody
Right.
that they probably already know. What convinces them isn't that you keep telling them, it's that you act on it. Actions are what help people believe things. And I think I just feel a strength gathering up in you because I think you know that you can do that, it will be effective, and they're going to be okay. I mean, these aren't fragile little people who are going to fold up once you tell them they can't do something. They might challenge that a little bit.
Yeah, I have a feeling that
Yeah.
probably can
But I
be a
think
little more
you're up to
resistant,
that
so.
because you would have the point of view that that's too bad. But it doesn't mean I'm changing my mind about what I'm doing, because that is what's going on with that kind of thing, is they're testing you to see, you don't really mean that rule. You aren't really going to follow that up, are you? I can get around you. I'm too cute. I'm too powerful. I'm too something. But I think your point of view is no, that doesn't cut it. No means no. Without being unkind about it. You're not spanking anybody. Just no means no. A toy fought over is removed. Don't remind about rules that are established. Act, not talk.
You guys want some broccoli?
I don't want broccoli on my plate.
You don't want broccoli on your plate?
In this situation, who liked broccoli and who didn't?
Typically, they both like broccoli.
Yeah. But Catalina says, I don't want broccoli, even though she likes it, right? Now, why would somebody tell you they don't want something that they actually like?
Well, probably just to see how I'd respond, I'm sure.
Okay, live it up and think widely. When you have somebody that actually likes it and you say, do you want it? And they say no, what are some of the things that most of us would say? You know, oh, but you really like this. I made it specially for you. You will have some. I mean, there's all kinds of things. So it's a little bit of an invitation to a power struggle over the broccoli, right?
Yeah. I get confronted a lot, actually. There's a lot of things that she'll say that she doesn't want
Yeah,
when I know that it's...
just to get you to back and
Yeah, because
forth.
when I asked her that question, I was expecting her to say, oh, good, broccoli. And of course, it turned into, I don't want broccoli.
Yeah.
So.
Now again, we are so much wiser in retrospect than we are in foresight. I mean, for 99% of us, this would get by us. I mean, because it happened in 3 seconds in time, right? And so we're only thinking, is this interaction representative of something that she does? And I'm going to say that a good guess would be that she takes exception to something that she knows that you see the other side to. I mean, like you're saying, she likes it. So is she inviting you to an argument? And of course, the expected course from her point of view, whether she's aware of it or not, is that the two of you are going to go back and forth about this for a while. What do you think would happen if you, not wanting to be in a power struggle, said, oh, then I won't put any on your plate?
Then she probably would have wanted some.
Yeah, but at least, and then you could have said, oh, well, then if you do, fine. But I think the reason that you might have said, then I won't put any on, she just told you she didn't want it. So, okay, we'll go with that. I'm not going to argue. Unless, of course, you think broccoli is so important that we should argue over it. I mean, maybe you do or maybe you don't. But I think the interaction is more important than the broccoli. I don't think you're going to deter her from being a lifelong broccoli eater. It's just doing the unexpected. If she said she didn't want it, okay. And then you'd certainly find out whether she really did or not. It would be kind of an interesting experiment.
I think, yeah, that probably would have made a difference, I bet.
So really, I think what I'm saying is that as we get wiser about how things go, does she know how to pick an argument with you? And I would guess that she does.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, and that most of the time we're just doing what we're doing. We're not thinking about whether she's doing this or not. And I guess I would move it away from, I don't know whether she intends to or not. I mean, how would we know that? Turn down invitations to argue.
She's gonna go without eating in a minute.
Lena, stop playing with your food and eat it, please. Yeah. It sure was good too.
Uh-huh.
I love broccoli.
I didn't bring the hamburger.
Finish up your broccoli first though.
Okay.
Broccoli is the good part. As soon as you're done eating broccoli, go, Mom, I'm done eating my broccoli.
And I will help you.
Eat your broccoli, okay?
Okay.
We see kind of a little back and forthing going on here. Is it important to you that she eats it?
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Pretty important? How important?
Well, I mean, it's not like, yeah, it is because she had already eaten some other things, and she ate the things that were less healthy.
On the plate. And you're saying she likes broccoli. So here, maybe it is more important to her to show you she doesn't have to do what you say than to eat the broccoli.
I think definitely, now that we look back on it.
Yeah.
He gave her like a big plate and like a full baked potato and I mean, like one of our
He gave her
portions.
a lot of food.
So I think that she was kind of overwhelmed, and that's why towards the end you could see that I had taken everything else off the plate except for the broccoli,
Yeah.
so that it would seem like it wasn't really that much to eat after all. You know?
That's an interesting thing, because you're really saying that I'm not sure that we were on reasonable ground in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think that we were.
Yeah, and that's important, because probably when you're having a power struggle, lots of times you weren't on reasonable ground, but you didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here you're saying, I sort of saw this coming,
Mm-hmm.
because there was too much on the plate, and then you kind of wish in retrospect that you might have done something about that. I wonder what would happen if, when you see that kind of thing, to say, well, Catalina, let's give you a smaller plate, and let's let you choose what you think. And the reason I'd let her choose is because I think you're more likely to do something when you're part of the process.
Mm.
And can we agree what's a reasonable portion?
Mhm.
And I guess if there wasn't much on the plate, that would show me that she's not too hungry. It might mean there wouldn't be snacks. I don't know. You'd have to kind
Right.
of think your way through that. But let's be sure we're on reasonable ground about it. And the other thing to be aware of is, I guess, that she likes the broccoli.
Mhm.
So that'll be fine. But I think you nailed the dynamic a minute ago when you said maybe it's more important for her to show me I can't make her do anything than to eat the broccoli, even if she liked it.
Right.
So it may be possible that in situations like this, you pull out of the struggle, and that's why I was saying, oh, you don't want any broccoli, then fine, don't put it on your plate. Because what happens at any one moment in time in terms of the power struggle doesn't necessarily mean that for the rest of her life she won't eat broccoli.
Mhm.
She just didn't eat it at this meal. And the way to be pretty sure that she'll never eat broccoli is to make it such an issue every time it happens that she just stakes off and says, I hate broccoli, I can't stand, I throw up when I eat broccoli. I mean, that type of thing. You don't want that kind of squaring off.
I think that if I would have made the statement, then okay, you don't want any, early on, that
Yeah.
if I would have, whether I put it on the plate or not, she would have eaten it, and it wouldn't have been an issue at all.
I think you're right, because power struggles are just that.
Right.
And that they go to great lengths to win them. Be sure that requests are reasonable. Avoid or withdraw from unnecessary power struggles.
Eat your broccoli, okay?
Okay. All the big broccolis.
Good girl. It'll be done, right?
Okay. Mommy, I ate all of my broccoli.
You ate all of it? You did eat all of it. Good job. Strong, right?
Die.
Okay, she's ready for her bath. She ate all her broccoli.
Yay.
Check under the table.
I don't think she's figured that one out yet, Henry. Let's not give any clues.
I guess she's been doing this for a while then, I bet.
Who knows? I don't know. That's what I'm...
No, I was in the other room. I had no idea. But see, my thought was that she really does like broccoli, so maybe if I leave her alone and I'm not staring at her, she'll eat the broccoli.
Well, maybe she does like it. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, maybe.
I thought that maybe I was being intimidating to her, and then that's why she wouldn't eat it, So I thought if I leave the room, she'll eat the broccoli,
Well, to me, it just feels like such classic power.
Very good.
And the intent on her part to win. You're not going to make me do this. And I will come up and over it.
And then she gets praise at the end,
Well,
so I mean.
I just think it speaks to the ingenuity that she has for being able to maneuver her situation. Just like her younger sister. I mean, they don't lack for creativity at all. That's pretty interesting. But it also points out to me, you were saying in the beginning, I probably just should have said, if you don't want it, fine, you don't have it. Because look to the extent to which she's willing to go to win this power struggle. I told my daughter about this morning. I said, because we usually look at these in the staff meeting because they're off doing other things and can't see them. And I said, we have this tape today. I said, it's just wonderful. I mean, it just really shows that you can't make children do things. And she said, what happened? And I said, well, she was supposed to eat the broccoli, and she didn't. She put it in the garbage, and everybody thought she ate it. And she says, oh, yeah, I remember doing that all the time. I said, you did? And she said, yeah, you used to tell me, eat one bite of chicken, eat two, eat three, eat this. And she said, I hated it, and I didn't want to eat it, and so I just fed it to the dog. She said, that's why our dog got so fat. I think now if we remember doing these things, because a lot of us did do those things, why would we think we can make somebody do something they don't want to do? Because that's what it's about. It's not about the broccoli. It's about two people positioning with each other about who's going to run things. That's really what it's about. Trying to make children do things leads to power struggles. Even if the parent wins the power struggle, it damages the relationship. Children are incredibly resourceful at winning power struggles. You can use these principles and skills to improve your relationships with children. Here are some of the main principles from this episode. What appears to be the object of the power struggle is usually secondary to who is going to win.
Check under the table.
Your withdrawal will end the power struggle. If children redouble efforts, then consistency and fortitude are important.